What's going on, everybody? Just give me 1 second. About to send the stream link out. Just give me 1 second, y'all. All right, good morning. What's going on, everybody? It's September 29th, Thursday, 2022. And yeah, so far it's been a good week. Seen some interesting things yesterday on the GBP pairs. I'm going to talk about that in a little bit. Went over that with the members yesterday a little bit, but we're going to talk about that on the live stream as well. Because missed out on a few trades because of that, because it was just a huge spikes going on both. GBP has some huge spikes going on. I can show you that real quick. Like all the GBP pairs, especially the ones I was personally looking at. So let's go on a smaller time frame real quick. So we can see the spike right here. This is one of the crazy spikes. And even GPCHF, which was a trade was in, we had a crazy spike right here, right? And then I think even GGU had a crazy spike as well. Let me go on a smaller time frame and see. Yeah, so we can see a spike right here. So there's a bunch of crazy spikes, and then on the indice wise, like US30, gold, SPX, all that stuff, it wasn't crazy spikes like that. Instead, it was just like a harsh shoot up, like so, right? So we still caught some pips on both US30 and on NAS100 yesterday before the shot back up. So we could potentially, again, keyword potentially, be seeing a change in the trend, or it could just be a slight reversal shot up for a new lower high. Because again, on the daily time frame, we've been in a clear downtrend, right? We can see that right here. So this could be just a lower high. So I want to see how it's going to react to this zone right here. I want to see what's going to break under, or it's going to go back. It's going to treat this as a support level and come up to here and then shoot down. So that's what I'm paying attention to right now. So I'm going to be on the smaller time frames, paying attention to that to see exactly how it reacts to this zone. We still have some time before London session, and price will really be moving in New York. So no rush. Just going to be watching to see how it reacts to the zone. So again, it could be potential starting uptrend. That depends on if it does come back up here, how it reacts to the zone right here. So whether it comes up to here again and then shoots back down, or when it comes up to here, treats it as a support level and shoots back up. So that's what we're going to be waiting on, US30 and indice wise, to see what's going on. But closer went to London session, we see that it made some dips. Like NAS100 came to the top of the zone and dropped. Missed this opportunity literally like an hour ago, but that's no problem, because again, I don't want a small move like that. I'm trying to go for the overall direction price is going to be going for the day. So again, going to be waiting to see how it reacts to this level right here. It could come up here, and if it continues to go up, I might potentially want to try to ride the wave up, because again, it could be potentially going up to here, because it tried to come up to here, but it hit this wall right here, this level of price right here that we can see. And that was caused it to retrace down. But also when we see on NAS100, what happened is it hit the zone and caused the retracement down. And you can see that these candlesticks look exactly the same. So keeping that in mind. So going to be paying attention to that. But GBPJPY also hit the top of the zone and retrace back down. So when we go on the bigger time frame, we can see all these are in a downtrend. So it could very much so just been a retracement for, like I said, the new lower high, because again, we're in a downtrend. This one was a little bit sloppy, right? Came back up, but then it came back down. So this could potentially be a new lower high, because again, it reacted to the zone multiple days, 1, 2, 3, 4 days in a row, respected this as a resistance level. So this could just be lower high, and it could continue down to make new lows. Or when volume picks back up, it could break above here. But as we see right now on the smaller time frames, it is still treating this and respecting it. Hey, what's going on, Jason? So as we can see, that it's still respecting this as a resistance level, even on the smaller time frames. We can still see the downtrend on the 4 hour, right? Retracements shooting down. So it's still slowly going down, and then it's respecting this level, shot down. So it could just be another retracement, and it could shoot down here and potentially keep going down when volume picks up and later into New York session. So just paying attention to that. Not entering GBPJPY, it's a little bit too far from the zone, because if we just look right here where price is currently at, it's currently at 12,165, and the top of the zone is 12,268. That is a huge amount of pips to add on top of the SL being above the zone, which would be around right here or here. So just going to wait to see if it does a retracement, which it usually does, because it's at this level of price right here. So it could very much retrace and come back to the level here, which I'd like to see. And if it does, depending on how it reacts when it comes back up here, could very much look for a sell position to try to ride the retracement back down. So that's what I'm going to be looking at. But as you can see, it looks like it's still trying to push down. But again, it's 2:40. Still got 20 minutes until London, and reversals happen before London. They happen before New York. They happen all the time. Like I said, all the time to the members. At least I'm on Eastern Standard Time, so 3 a.m., 6 a.m., 8 a.m., 10/11 a.m. is when things start to happen in the market. Either reversals or volume picks up and continues to push price the direction it's going. So you have to keep those times in mind, because those are important times to know about. So SPX is under this lower price too, but again, it's retracing up. So it's going to be watching to see how it reacts to these levels here to determine what I was going to do. Because again, we're all still in the downtrend. But again, we haven't been at this level of price. We haven't been this low since 2 years ago, almost 2 years ago. So that's why it's having a lot of rejection wicks here, these huge wicks, because one, this level of traffic has got to break, and two, it hasn't been this low in a while. But as we can see, it's still respecting this level as a resistance level. It broke above it yesterday, but even when we go on a smaller time frame, we can see, let's go to an hour, we can see how after it broke above it, it quickly went back underneath. So still showing a lot of bearish momentum, still respecting the overall trend. It could just be a retracement up for, again, a new lower high, but we're going to have to wait to see and determine that when volume picks up later into London and New York session. But it could very much just be a nice retracement. Came back to this level here, and it could shoot back down to here or here and continue down. So that's what I'm going to be waiting to see how it reacts. But even on the daily time frame, you can see that it's still bouncing on this level. So it could, again, this could be the start of the uptrend, or it could still be a little higher retracement on the lower high. It could come up to here. This still wouldn't break the trend, so it could come up to here and then continue to look for sales. But again, we'll have to wait to see how price reacts to this level of price and see if it's going to treat it as a support level, or it's going to go back down and treat it like a resistance level. So again, just having the setups ready, just looking at price, looking at possible trading ideas, looking at possible entries for the trade, And now we just have to wait to see what price is going to be doing. Because again, we see price shooting back up, retesting this level. So again, we're just going to be waiting for volume to pick up and for price to show us the direction it wants to go. But if it continues to respect this level, I might try to go for shorts again. But again, it just depends on what it decides to do. I could try to go for right here, or yeah, I'd probably just do that. I could try to do this or something like this, but again, I want to go for the overall move. So I'm just going to patiently wait. I'm not in no rush. It's Thursday. We're still up for the week. I'm in no rush to throw my money in the markets until I know for sure what price is trying to do on these charts. So same thing with EUSDX. So again, just going to be patiently waiting. So we know what's going on with those pairs. So we're going to look at some currency pairs to see what's going on there. Let's see here. There's only a couple red folders today, so there's nothing really to look at too much. It's what's today? Thursday. So we have 8:30 a.m. right before New York. We have a Canadian red folder, and then 9 a.m. Well, not right during New York, I should say, not after, right during New York. We have the Canadian red folder news, and then at 9 a.m., 30 minutes later, we have New Zealand. But other than that, it's just yellow folders, so it should be a smooth day. So for the most part, it's going to be looking for opportunities and waiting for price to come to us and going from there. So GBPJPY is looking very interesting because we had this crazy day here. Then the next day was a crazy day. Went all the way down here, then reversed back up. And now we see price slowly shooting back up for the past 2 days. So it could be coming to fill this up and coming back to this zone because we see this huge rejection on this daily candlestick. So that shows us price started right here and price came to the zone and shot back up. So that's showing that's treating this as a support level, a very strong support level, because again, there's a huge rejection wick and we can kind of see what's going on here. So this is a very interesting. So I'm just going to be watching and observing. It's too far in the middle of the zone for me personally to even want to enter the trade. So I'm just going to keep an eye on that, if anything. But for the most part, I'm just going to stay out of it unless it retraces back down. But as you can see, it shot back up after it did the retest. It really treated this as a support level. After it came back up, came up a little, hit a level of price, hit this wall, came back down, never broke back under, shooting back up for the retest underneath this level of price to potentially try to break through it. So either when it hits the zone, it's going to reverse back down like you see here, or it's going to come back up. So just going to be watching that. Maybe look for a potential setup in New York after the red folder news comes out to see how that affects all the pairs with the CAD on it. Let's see here. Euro JPY. I might look for possible sell setups for Euro JPY because we were in like a slight uptrend here, but if you go and you zoom out, look at the bigger picture, right? It's just a bunch of ranging. It's just been doing a lot of ranging. But right here, we can see a slight uptrend. That stopped right here. So we can see the beginning of a potential downtrend. But again, Euro JPY hasn't been doing anything really clear. Like we had an uptrend here, ranging, drop down. We can say this was an uptrend, drop down, ranging. So if you zoom out and try to break it up bit by bit, you can probably find it somewhat of a trend. So if you do that, you can kind of think this is a downtrend or something like that. But these are one of those weird charts where where these zones really come in handy. So again, we see this. So I potentially could look for sales. Again, just going to be waiting to see what it looks like when volume picks up. So as you can see, it's somewhat respecting this as a resistance level, but it is retesting it right now, which is good for us because depending on this retest, if we can still respect this as a resistance level, we could look for sales. But as we can see, the past few days, it's just been ranging. Came down here, ranged, shot back up, and now it looks like it's going to try to range underneath the zone here until volume picks up. So just going to be keeping an eye on that, but do see potential sells right here, potentially, depending on what these next candlesticks do. But again, I haven't entered anything yet, just watching the charts, looking to see what some good setups, and just keep an eye on those for now. Let's see, do I have it up? Yeah, I do. So let's go over yesterday. Yesterday we had a pretty good day. Like I said, we went 5-0 again. We haven't lost any trades at all this week. So we have 100% accuracy so far, which is pretty good. Missed a few opportunities because of the weird markets yesterday, but it doesn't really matter. What matters are the trades we did enter. So we had GBPJPY hit 174 pips, NAS100, hit TP2 hit, caught a quick 5,000 pips, US30, all TPs got hit, caught a quick 12,000 pips, GBP New Zealand, all TPs got hit, caught a quick 90 pips. Then we caught a quick gold short before it shot back up, caught 500 pips, ended the day with 17,774 pips, ended the day 5-0. Now, not all trades hit every TP, but every trade hit a TP and didn't hit XL, so that's what's important. So we still secured some profits and made some money in the markets. That's what the number one goal is. So it was a good day in my book. And let's see here. So let's just keep on going down the list, looking at some more pairs. Euro GBP was one of those pairs I missed the trade on. Literally, when the GBP was dumping, Euro GBP shot up because GBP is the second pair. So the GBP, it was just a crazy day because you can see this huge shot here, and then when we go on the GBP pairs, we're in GBP CHF. While that was shooting up, this was the candlestick shooting down. So again, we see a lot of things going on, but all the GBP pairs did the same thing. They had a quick spike, ranging back and forth for like 10 minutes. It was craziness. And then after that, it dumped. Right? So it was an interesting day yesterday. So I'm still just gonna be paying attention to them. I do see some good setups though on those pairs. And I do see still buys for your GBP because just like I went over in yesterday's live stream, it is in a clear uptrend. Struggled a little bit here, but still showing bullish momentum. So if it stays on top of this level of price on this zone, I want to see potential buy setup to see if it's going to repeat what it did yesterday. Whoops, hit the wrong thing. I need a long. So that's what I'm looking at for Euro GBP. I'm going to see if it's going to repeat itself and do the same thing yesterday. But again, just going to have to wait for volume to determine that. Not jumping into anything yet. We got about 10 minutes until London. So Euro New Zealand is looking like it went to the middle zone, dropped back down, been underneath this lower price, hasn't been up here again for a few hours, and it's retrying again. So I'm going to be keeping an eye on that to see what it's going to do. But again, going on the daily time frame, we see that we're in a clear uptrend. We've been in an uptrend since August. So I'm only going to be looking for buy setups until it shows me current or potential trend reversal. But we can see right here why Euro New Zealand is struggling to continue up, because when we go to the right, we see these crazy wicks right here. You see this wick right here, right? And then when we go to the left, we can see what's going on. It's this huge level of traffic that was struggling. It was struggling to break, but it finally broke it. So now I want to see it stay on top of this level of traffic and try to break this level of traffic, which explains this wick right here, because it hit this wall and then rejected down. So now when volume picks back up, I want to see if it's going to be able to break those levels of traffic. But again, we have, I think we have news for, but we do have New Zealand news and New York session and Canadian news. So depending on how those go, it could cause the market to go down or up with those pairs. Maintaining central bank independence in the face of fiscal dominance risk, spending central bank mandates. Yeah, so we're just going to see what that does. But for those pairs, unless I see an opportunity in London session, I'm going to definitely wait till the time the news starts and ends to see how the markets react to it to determine if I'm going to enter any of those pairs or not. Now Euro AUD, let's go back on the daily time frame. I was looking at this yesterday, but I don't know what that was. I don't know why this thing's so, I don't know what's going on there. But anyways, so zooming out, we can see right here we're in a downtrend. The downtrend ended here and began towards the end of August, so about a month now. We've been in the uptrend. Has this wall to break here, but still is a uptrend. But this wick explains why, because it hit this wall for the first time. Hasn't been this high up since July, so about 2 months ago. But it's an uptrend, so I want to see if it can break this lower price and potentially look for buys, or if it's going to continue to struggle to break this wall here and then probably reverse back down, because it hasn't been this high up since, you can say May, or you can say July too. So it's still been a while since it's been this high. So I'm going to be watching to see how price reacts here, because we can see yesterday when it came up, it rejected back down to this level. Didn't go all the way back to the zone, which is a good sign, but it did reject back down here, then shot back up. So going to be waiting, not in a rush to jump into, well, we don't want to be on a 3-minute. I'm not in a rush to jump into this trade, so I'm just going to be watching and observing to see if it's going to shoot back down or not, or if it's going to continue the uptrend. So just going to be keeping an eye on that to see what that decides to do. Yeah, but we got about 4 minutes until London session. But again, pretty much going to be leaving these futures and indices alone till probably till New York, or if I see an opportunity. Because again, it looks like it's stacking on top of this level of price to potentially retrace back up. But again, it could still change on us. I'm in no rush to enter these trades, especially indices like US30, because that's a lot of pips. It's a volatile market. So I'm only going to enter that when I'm very confident in the direction it's going. Right now, it's in one of those iffy, sticky situations where it's underneath this level of traffic here. So it could very much, but it's back right here. So it's on top of this level of price, but it's underneath this level of traffic here. So it could very much so shoot back down when volume comes up, because it'll take a lot for it to break that traffic to shoot up, which is why it reversed right here and it hasn't really gone any higher than this. But just because it's difficult doesn't mean it's impossible, especially if volume's making price go that way. So just gonna be watching to see what it decides to do. I'd like to see it break back under here and potentially look for sales, but that's still further into the future. Let's see here. Real CHF, I might look for possible shorts. Called one on, I think it was Tuesday, missed out on one yesterday, but as you can see, it's still just been going down, down, down. So I might look for a potential sell today, depending on what it does. I might look for a sell here, quick sell set up here, or if it breaks this and starts to shoot back up, might look for one back at the zone. It all depends on how it reacts here. Because every day has been going slowly lower and lower, so that is also a good sign. But again, just gonna be waiting. So I could potentially look for a sell right here, or it all depends on what it does at the zone. Right now, it's still respecting it as a resistance level. It's been doing it for a few hours, as we can see on the 15-minute time frame, because it came back down, shot under, retested. So could be looking for entry right here to either come to here or finish the move here. Either way, it is still a decent trade risk to reward. It's a decent trade risk to reward wise, right? And everybody in here watching the stream, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. Shout out to all the new people watching, and shout out to people in the free signal room and the members watching right now. But yeah, make sure to hit that like button and to subscribe if you haven't yet. Now, looking at EuroCAD, this is very interesting. I could look for potential buy setups because, again, looking at the daily time frame, we've just been in a ranging market, as we can see. We're calling mainly sells on it, as you can see here. But it broke above this ranging market right here, as you can see from this rejection wick. Stacked on top of this lower price, shot up. So now it's above this and on top of this zone right here. So depending on how it respects this zone, but as you can see by this rejection wick, is still respecting this as a support level. So depending on what it does when volume picks up, could look for potential buys on this, depending on how things are looking when volume picks up. But again, there is news, red folder news for this in New York session. So it all depends on if I see an opportunity. Oh, as soon as 3 o'clock hit, it dropped underneath there. So that's interesting. But this is a trade idea, so I'm going to be paying attention to see what it does. But it'd be interesting to see if it drops down. If it respects this as a resistance level, well, let me not jump the gun. I'm just going to watch it for now. I'm not in no rush. But it is very interesting to see what it does. Because every time I hit this lower price, we see these rejection wicks. But it broke above it. It came back down, though. But it's on top of it right now. So just going to be paying attention to this. Not in a rush. Because even after that drop, rejected and shot back up, which is a good sign. So going to be seeing what price does there. Yeah, and the UVCAD just took off with, ain't too worried about that. Let's see here. Yeah, I was looking at the charts earlier. I didn't really see, I see potential setups, but nothing really making a crazy move. GBPUSD did a dump, but retraced back up, just like all the other USD pairs. So it's staying on the top of this level of price. So depending on how things are looking later into London and these next few candlesticks, might look for a buy setup, or if it shoots back down, might look for a sell. Depends on what these next candlesticks do, though. But again, it's Thursday. We're up for the week. I'm in no rush to jump into any trades until I see proper confirmations. But this could be an easy buy. It's doing a retest candle right now. It's on top of this level of price. So depending on how momentum goes, this could be an easy buy setup. Probably won't go all the way to here, being realistic. But it could potentially go to here. Still not a good risk to reward for my liking. So again, I'm just gonna wait for more confirmation candlesticks. But we can see right here off the retest, there's still pressure trying to keep it on the top side. So Just going to be keeping an eye on that to see what it does, because when we go on the daily time frame, we can see that we are in a huge downtrend. We've been in a downtrend all year. Well, let me not say all year. Well, basically, yeah, so the downtrend started like a year ago around this time. So for literally a year, we've been slowly dropping. So it's reacting to this level strongly here. So it could come to fill up this imbalance and then potentially look for sales up here. Or if it breaks back down here, look for sales here. But it might be trying to hunt and fill this imbalance up to at least the 50, if not all the way at the top of the zone. So going to be keeping an eye on that to see what it does. Again, we're just 3 minutes into London. No rush to jump into anything. Really just observing the markets to see what's going on. And then same thing with GBPJPY. Looking for potential sell setup. Been respecting this level as resistance level. Hasn't broken this level of traffic yet. Tried one time, shot back down. Now it's underneath this level of price. So, depending on the next couple of candlesticks, if we can still stay under here, break this level, especially, might look for sales. And yeah, so we just saw that candlestick shoot down, so that's a good sign. Stay down. But I need you to break this wall here and at least come to. I want to break this level, this lower price right here. So if we can definitely break this level. After it breaks this level, it's definitely gonna have to retest things like that. But if it can break this level, that's a good sign that we could continue to the downside. Because we see right here, the last time it was in this little box was earlier this week when we called sales and it range all day. So gonna be really watching this to see what it does. But I definitely am looking for sales for GJ if it gives us the opportunity. So since this is going down, let me look at the other JPY pairs. I think Aud Jpy is a little too far for me. I mean, I could put the zone right here, possibly look for sales. Put it like right here. Let's see here. Possibly look for sales right here. Just put it above this wall here. Good 1 to 2, almost 1 to 3 risk to reward. Let me see what this JPY pair is doing. Yeah, so this JPY pair is dumping too. So yeah, so I see a lot of good potential setups. Good confirmation candlesticks. I already did a retest and dropped back down. So if we can definitely break this zone, that'd be great. This would be like almost 1 to 2. But if we can break this level, that'd be even perfect because we see this wall right here. But it is looking good JPY pair wise. Let me go back to GJ. Yeah, but again, it's just literally a new 5-minute candlestick did appear, so that's good. But again, I'm in no rush to enter these trades. Definitely, if possible, going to wait for the next 15-minute candlestick to see what that looks like. But even Euro JPY looks like it's going to try to drop, which is good. Let's see here. Yeah, so that's a good sign. Let's see what else is going on. AUD New Zealand, could look for possible buy setup again with AUD New Zealand. Yeah, and this would be a good time if we were to enter as well, because it did the multiple retests, did retest there, and now it is stacking on top of this lower price. So this would be a good buy setup. And again, if it does the move before, because the New Zealand news isn't until 9 o'clock. So that's plenty of time to catch a move before having to worry about news or anything like that. So I am kind of liking how this setup is looking. Let me go in a smaller time frame. We caught this buy earlier. So, well, not earlier, like earlier this week. And things are a good setup, and it still is slowly pushing up. So the next candlestick could be very much a retracement, but also it could start to move and shoot up and break this level of price. And I'd rather be in, because even entering right here, 1405, it comes to here, that's not that big of a drawdown zone wise. And this is a very strong wall here and a very strong wall here. And we can see that it hasn't broken this level at all. So I very much so like how this is looking. So let's get the signal ready for this, because I like how this is looking. So I'm gonna get the signal ready. Really pay attention to this 5 minute. Yeah, it's on top of this stuff. But yeah, I like how this is looking. So let me get this signal ready. I am potentially going to enter this in a second. New 5 minutes starting in 1 minute. So I'm gonna see what that's looking like. But as you can see, it's trying to push. So depending on this 5 minute, like I have the signal ready. So depending on what this 5 minute does, I'm going to enter and send the signal out. So let's see what this 5 minute candle does. It's retesting, which is actually good for us. So this will be the best opportunity to enter. So let me go ahead and put out the disclaimer for the morning before I call out this trade. And then, yeah, I might enter this. And by might, I mean I am. But again, do not over leverage. It's still early in this session. And this is just the first trade of the day. No reason to put all your eggs in one basket. But I am definitely liking how this is looking. So I did personally enter this. Put this trade on one of my accounts. So SL would be 13. You can say 1360, or you can say 1355, 1350. I'm probably going to say like 1355, but I did enter this. So I'm about to put the TPs and stuff in the free signal room, but I did enter this trade, those watching the stream. So let me just put my entry in, my personal entry. All right, yep. So I'd like to see it come to at least right here. So did enter though. Put the signal in the free signal room. So while that's doing this thing, I know some other pairs got to be on the move. So let's see what else is starting its move. So let's go back to the JPY pairs, see what they're doing. JPY is still retesting there. That's cool. Let's see what Aud Jpy is doing. Oh, that's New Zealand. I'm tripping. Here we go. Okay, still retesting. Let's see what this one's doing. So this one's dropping, it looks like CHF-JPY. So it's the second candle. So depending on what this 15-minute candlestick that's popping up in 3 minutes is going to do, might look for a short position here for CHF-JPY. But as of now, I'm only in AUD New Zealand. Let me look at other pairs we were looking at, GBPCAD and stuff. Because the GBPCAD already started this move. So let me look at the other Canadian pairs to see if they're shooting up as well. Because as correlating pairs go, one thing's doing another. Potentially the other pairs are following suit. Now, obviously, since they're with different pairs, they could move smoother or struggle more compared to other ones. But for the most part, they still like to move together. So I like how this is looking. So depending on the next candlestick, because I can wait 2 minutes. So depending on the next 15-minute candlestick will determine if I enter this as well. But from what I see, I do like how AD CAD is looking. New Zealand CAD looks like it's trying to do the same thing. So it's kind of high, but will be determined if I enter this. Let's see what the other Canadian pairs are doing. EuroCAD is doing it too, just push. It's a good candlestick. So if the next candlestick can confirm, we'll enter buys. Because from here it's just been shooting up. So this is a good candle setup there. So definitely going to be paying attention to the Canadian pairs in 1 minute. So also going to be paying attention to AUD New Zealand to see what that does. So since we entered AUD New Zealand, let's see what these other New Zealand pairs are doing. Euro New Zealand could see a potential buy setup here too, depending on the next couple candlesticks. So yeah, things are looking good so far. So just gonna be switching. Yeah, so EuroCAD looks like it's about to try to push up. So might call some buys for AUD and EuroCAD. Especially because GBPCAD just took off. Yeah, I like how these are looking. Yeah, I like how these are looking. Let me see what this is doing. So CHF-JPY is still dropping too. But what from the zone, it's at 147.09. Ooh, that's a big pip difference. So I'd like to see a retest candle of this wall before I enter, because it could very much drop. But if it did decide to retrace, that's an additional 50 pips from right here to here. But even looking at this as 1 to 3 risk reward, so this will still change it to 1 to 1, almost 1 to 2. But right here would be a better entry. So I'm going to see if it is going to retest. But it is underneath this wall, so it could continue to dump. But if it would retest, that'd be nice. So I'm going to keep an eye on that. See what's going on. EuroCAD. Yeah, I'm gonna call EuroCAD out. Maybe. I like how it's looking. Stacking on top of this level of price. And it's showing signs it wants to continue to push up, which is good. Just gonna wait a little bit. See what it does. GBPJPY is showing me a good 15-minute candlestick. That's what I like to see. Yeah, so we have like a lot of options right here. We have a lot of potential setups. Might call these all out, might not. But I do like how these are looking. I'm not going to lie to you, especially these JPY pairs. They're looking very tempting. So don't be surprised if I call those signals out. So I do like how they're looking. And they're looking very tempting. But let's go on these futures to see what's going on here. So SPX did drop underneath this zone. So let me see what US30. US30 dropped underneath the zone, which is good. So yeah, I'm going to be paying attention to this next 15-minute candlestick though, because again, we saw yesterday, we called sales a little too early, and we saw what happened there. Our SLs almost got hit. It was a very nail-biting moment, but we held on to the trades, and yeah, we made some money. So, but again, that doesn't mean I want to do that all the time. GBP30 just dumping. SPX. And so it's gonna be interesting. So as you can see, like there's literally opportunity. When I say there's opportunities everywhere, it's not an exaggeration. There's literally opportunities everywhere. You just got to know where to look, when to look, and what to look for. But I definitely like some of these setups here. So yeah, definitely like these setups here. So could look for potential sell setup here for gold. Put it like, yeah, this is a good stop loss. So new 5-minute candle just started. See what's going on. Do like these setups here though. Let's go back to the JPY pairs though. See what's going on there. Okay. Your GBP. Okay. I like how your GBP is looking too. Yeah, so I see a lot of good potential setups. Euro CAD looking good. Yeah, so let me get these signals ready because Euro CAD is looking good. So is, well, let me not say so is AUD CAD. AUD CAD still trying though. This just has a bunch of levels of traffic to break. And EuroCAD is breaking through those. Yeah, so let me get the signal ready. Because it could retrace, but it's breaking through those levels of traffic. So I'll do with a little drawdown than missing the whole entire move, because that is the worst feeling. So SL would be, you can say 3210. Yeah, that thing's shooting up. Yeah, so the SL is going to be 3210. Getting the TPs ready. Everything is ripping. Yeah, and if the Canadian news actually goes with us, it could potentially go zone to zone instead of just halfway to the zone. Yeah, the thing's already shooting up. So if anyone already entered, y'all should be up. But I'm getting the signal ready for the Telegram. 3 minutes until the next 15-minute candlestick appears. So with this next 15-minute candlestick, it's either going to continue to shoot up or it's going to retrace back down. But like I said, all right, we'll deal with a little bit of drawdown because the drawdown from here is not too bad, just 20 pips. I'd rather deal with 20 pips extra drawdown than missing the entire move. So I did personally enter. It could, again, the next candlestick retest and retrace down here. But all that means is other people can get better entries than I did. But that is no biggie. So I'm going to get these TPs ready. Let's see here. It's already shot up to here. So depending on if it retraces or not. But next target will be like right here. Let's see. Yeah, so I see when it hits this wall, it could very much reverse. And then we see up here, it's a nice wall right here. Not a coincidence. Then when it broke under, it was a huge drop. Then we see the resistance. So depending on how the news affects the markets, it could break this wall here and then continue to the top of the zone. But this is going to be the first target points right here. And a new 5-minute candle just appeared. And it looks like it's still pushing. So I'm going to put the signal in the chat. But it potentially could retest this next 15-minute candlestick, either stay on this level of price or it could retest and come back to this level of price right here. Those are the possibilities. And as you can see, it's retesting this lower price right now. But I did just put the signal out, so that is a-okay. But it is doing what I presumed it was going to, so that is a good sign. CHF-JPY. If we were going to enter, now would be the best time. But again, new 5-minute candlestick just appeared. But since we last seen it, it's just been playing at this lower price. I want to see it retest this and it come to at least right here. But it kind of did that already. So the dump or the continued drop could start right now. Because as you can see, it did the retest. So the next 15-minute candlestick could retest, or the next 15-minute candlestick could start the drop. See what Euro GBP is doing. Euro New Zealand. Yeah, so I like how these pairs are looking too. Yeah, so there's a bunch of opportunities. They're all just looking me in the face right now. So I might call out all these trade ideas. Of course, some are just going to be strictly to the members. Others are going to be in the free signal room. But so far, all the trades called out have been in the free Telegram so far. New Zealand. All right, slight retest. Not too worried about that so far. Three minutes until the next 15 and the next 5-minute candlestick appear. Yeah, SPX just dropping. So is US30. So depending on what this next 15-minute candlestick, again, like we talked about, the game plan here is I want to see the next 15-minute candlestick retest, then shoot down. You'll see a retest. I see a retest, very much so might enter. But as we can see from everything else, SPX, the ideal entry already happened, which have been right here, but we can enter right here still and still catch a decent amount of pips. SL just have to be adjusted a little bit, but still no issue there. This would have been the best entry here. As you can see, once it did the retest, it just dropped and plummeted. But bigger confirmation will be if US30 can continue to do the same thing. But we see this level of traffic here. We see this wall is going to have to break here. So there's a lot of obstacles ahead of us. That volume will help us take care of course. Yeah, that's what we're looking at right here. Let's see what gold's doing. Yeah, gold's looking nice too. So new 15-minute candlestick's about to appear. This is going to be a very important candlestick for the trades we're in and for the next future trades. EuroCAD's doing the retest candle, retesting its lower price, like I said. So now with this candlestick, I'd like to see it shoot back up. AD New Zealand is doing a slight retest as well. But yeah, I see a lot of good potential setups though. So we're going to really paying attention to see what happens. I think on the 4-hour, we see this huge thing here. So again, it could reverse back after it hits this zone right here, very much so. Or it could come all the way down here to right there. Very interesting. And it's very much so tempting me to enter, not gonna lie. See this huge thing here, could come down to here. Do like how they are looking though. So let me look at the other page I'm looking at too. Yeah, so I'm about to drop a bunch of signals out. I'm about to drop a bunch of signals out in a second because there's a lot of pairs that I like what they're doing. So yeah, I'm about to call a bunch of signals out in a second. Your AD still struggling. Let's see. Just scrolling through everything as of now. See what's going on. EuroCAD came back to the zone right there. Cool. JPY dropped back down. So yeah, so I like how these JPY pairs are looking. Yeah, so I'm about to call. Yeah, we missed that drop on on CHF JPY, which is unfortunate, but it happens. So we have a good setup for GJ and EJ. So I'm going to get these signals ready. So GJ's SL would be, we could say 157.25, or we could say 157.20. I'm just going to say 157.20. Why not? Really want to see it break this wall. That's what's going to struggle to do, is break that wall. But if it can break that wall when volume comes into the market, we can very much so see a nice drop. So I like how that's looking. And the retest is only going to work in our favor. Just looking at these other ones, CHS took off. Should enter that when it was staying complacent. It is what it is, though. Aud Jpy, 329, 357. So I like how Aud Jpy is looking too. So SL for Aud Jpy is going to be 94. Let's say 94.15. And if it can break this wall just like GJ, we could see it rip, but it has to break this wall first. But if we break that wall, we can very much see some pips getting caught. Five. So put that in the chat. So this one's in the free signal room. Again, SL is going to be like 94.15. So let's go back to US30, see what's going on. Let's go to a smaller time frame. Okay, new 5 minute. Okay, so it's at this wall right here. So it could reverse, but it has this wall right here. It would have to break. I already retested that, then dropped. So I will call this signal out. But again, keep in mind what's going on. Especially US30, don't over leverage it. Because it could very much reverse on us after it hits this wall right here. But I am going to call this signal out. So I called that out. SPX broke under. Could call that out too. Nas just dipped, man. That's crazy, but it's all good. The move started before London. That move started at like 1 a.m. and I was nicely asleep. So there's that. Let's see what GJ is doing. So GJ, yeah, so when volume picks up, I'd very much so like to see it break that wall there. That is what I'd like to see happen. Aud Jpy is looking like it's already about to break that wall if it didn't already. It actually already hit 2 TPs, actually. Let me go to it. Yeah, it actually broke through the TPs already. So let me go ahead and notify them that TP2 got hit, actually. So that's good. We're already making money. So TP2 got hit for Aud Jpy. So I just need GJ to follow the lead, and we'll be making some money. Again, kind of unfortunate that we missed the CHF JPY trade, but could still kind of call it out because it is retracing a little bit. It's kind of back at the ideal entry. So those watching the stream, if y'all want, y'all can enter. I might get the signal ready and call that out, but mainly looking at these pairs right here. US30 struggling a little bit to break that wall, which is normal. I'm going to be really paying attention to gold because gold's in a good setup here. It has this imbalance that'll have to fill up and break. Does AJ and GJ run parallel? I would not say so, but they are correlating pairs, just like how US30 NAS100, right? Sure 30, right? SPX, they all have the same candle structure right here. We can just look at the JPY pairs, which are another correlating pair, and see that they're moving very similar as well. They have similarities, but they also have differences. So like you see, this one doesn't have that wall like GJ does, and like how AJ does. But AJ's wall is just this wall. GJ has that, but GJ has like something like this further along, further ahead. It could be this one right here, but sometimes they do move very similar. Other times, like I said, they are still having a different pair attached to them. So whatever's going on with that market and that value will affect how smoothly one pair will move compared to the other. Euro, New Zealand. Yeah, so that's still ranging. This is doing a retest. So in 4 minutes, we have a new 15-minute candlestick. So I'd like to see that 15-minute candlestick continue the dump downwards. We're just going to have to wait and see. Could continue to push down. Could look at potential sell for EUSDX right here. Just put it above this level of traffic here. That's a little too far gone. Yeah, so I'm liking how gold's looking. Gold's showing that I want to see at least hit here, because even right there, that's still a good few hundred pips we can throw into our pockets. So let's see here. So I'm just looking at the other pairs. And yeah, a lot of pairs are retracing / retesting right now. AUD/CHF still staying underneath this level of price and the zone, especially if it stays underneath this wall it built yesterday. could look for a potential sell setup right here. It is looking pretty nice as of now. But let's go back to, and that's very tempting. That's tempting me to enter. Whenever I see setups like that though, they love to pull pranks on me and retrace afterwards. But yeah, GJ is still struggling to break this traffic. But when volume comes into play, I'd like to see that happen. And you see AJ, we're still in profit on AJ. Because that thing kind of just ripped after I entered. So it is pushing still. It's floating around on TP2, but still is in profit. It's on this wall right here. Because again, doesn't have that crazy level of traffic like GJ does right here, which is why GJ is struggling. Because you see AJ's wick is a full body wick, but this one is struggling to break this level of traffic. But when volume comes into play, it could very much so break that level of traffic. Because again, we are somewhat of a downwards bearish momentum, and then we have these levels of traffic it would have to break right here. And we see the last 2 days it tried to, from right here we can see, and it failed each time. So I'm going with the momentum of price to see if it will come back down here when volume picks up again, like it did yesterday and a couple days beforehand, and like it did the day before that. So that's what I'm trying to see there, if it can do that. But again, we're just waiting for volume. We're just 45 minutes into London session. Still early. So we're going to see what happens. Speaking of which, let's see what's happening here. That is always a good sign. Seeing a red candlestick. So yeah, US30 is pushing. US30's TP is on the way to getting hit. We're just a couple hundred pips away, but again, it has to break this level of traffic to get to that TP. But everyone that entered should be up a couple hundred pips, and we're about to hit the first TP in a second if it can break this wall right here. So while it's doing that, I don't want to, it's about to hit it. Ooh, let me see if it hit it on my broker. Let me see if it hit it on my broker, because it's very close to doing so. Oh, well, on my broker, it already broke past. Yeah, it just broke past right there too. But my broker broke through these TP levels. But on here, TP1 just got hit. Yeah, I'm gonna play around that later. But on my broker, it's saying it's way farther down. So that's a good thing. I like how gold's looking. So might call out a signal for gold. Yeah, just broke this wall right here, so could very much come to here. I want to see at least come to there. If it can do that, that would be nice. USDX is looking nice too. Still want to wait for another candlestick before I enter that, but I like how gold's looking. So I'm going to get the signal ready for this. And remember, these TPs aren't exact. Most of the time they're pretty accurate, but sometimes they'll be off by 1 pip, sometimes 5 pips. So the most important thing is when you're happy with your profits, close. And number 2, secure your profits. Don't let your screen turn red unless you're confident it's just a slight retracement. But I'm looking at 1652 for my SL for gold. What I said, yeah, 1652. And this one's just going strictly to the members. But if you're in the stream, of course, you know the SL and you know the ultimate TPs, things like that. But when volume picks up, and if we can break these levels of price and these walls, we could very much so catch some pips in the market. When it has some levels of traffic, it's going to have to break. It's going to have to break these walls. Here, it could very much bounce when it hits these levels of traffic here. Which I wouldn't be surprised about. Let's see it come to at least right here. Yeah, so let me go ahead and put this signal out. See how US30 is doing. So yeah, it's still struggling to break this wall right here, which is pretty normal, nothing crazy out the ordinary there. So let's just see how these other pairs are looking. GJ pushing back down. Love to see it. So let's see how AJ is doing. AJ is just ripping. Ooh, did another TP just get hit? Let me look at my phone. $93.12. Yep, TP3 just got hit with AJ. So we're making some money. We're just an hour in, and we're already making some money in the markets. Got a few hundred on US30. We up on AJ. GJ's trying to get his act together. We're just waiting on EuroCAD. Well, EuroCAD's pushing back up, which is good. So we're just waiting on EuroCAD to get his act back. And then we are in AUD New Zealand, which is getting his act together. So let's check out to see what. And then speaking about the correlating pairs, a cursor, I don't know if you're still in here, but you're talking about AJ and GJ. Let's look at EJ. It's dropping 2, but as you can see, it's being a lot more smoother than the other 2 pairs were. So just pointing it out for you as well. Euro GBP still waiting on that, and no rush to enter. Euro New Zealand is looking nice as well. But yeah, that's like there's a bunch of opportunities. Obviously, I just like to go for the highest quality ones that I think are most likely going to go my way. Every day, I do miss opportunities. There's plenty of trade ideas that I call out. Well, first, let me see what the first TP for GJ was to see if we just hit it on that dip, 55.80. I think we almost hit it. Let me see on my broker if we hit it. No, not yet. So we're still waiting. It's still trying. But again, this is hours of choppiness. So it's going to take volume to break through that. So I'm not tripping too much about that. Euro CAD's pushing back up, which is great. Let's see how some of these other pairs are looking. AUDCHF looks like it just did a retest and is about to try to break these levels of traffic. But again, it's going to take volume to do so. But it is looking good. Let's see what else is going on here. Euro AUD looks like it's about to try to break this. So this is good. If it can break it and stack on top of that level of price, we can very much go for a buy opportunity here. But again, I haven't jumped into this yet. Still waiting for multiple confirmations. But so far, it is looking good. And US30 is ripping. US30 is just knocking TP out after TP. Not complaining. Not complaining. 29,281. So my thing is said TP4 just got hit. You know, here saying 29,300. 29,310. So I'm just going to say TP3 hit. But on my broker, TP4 got hit. So, but on trading view it didn't. But on my broker it did. So just keeping that into account. But US30 is still looking good. Could have entered SPX, but in plenty of trades right now. I mean, I could have called it out, but still, let's keep in mind EUSDX is still chilling right here. New 5-minute candlestick just appeared though. Let's keep in mind that they just hit the bottom of the zone, and we see everything retracing up. Not a coincidence there. So I like how Euro New Zealand's looking. So I'm gonna wait till the next 15-minute candlestick to call that out. But if I still like how it's looking, very much so will go for a buy. Now, Euro CAD's pushing the first TP's 32.75. Not there yet, but people that entered after us on the live stream should be up a few pips. But it's pushing. We're almost at the first TP. GJ still trying again to break that level. So again, if another thing to look at, you see it's continuously trying to push down. So I'm showing you that there is bearish momentum in the markets. It's just struggling to break this level of traffic until volume comes into play. Because it has this level of traffic to break, then right after it has this level, aka this wall right here. But after it breaks these two levels of traffic, it could very much so come to here, which is this level of traffic here, this wall. But again, we have to take things step by step. But it definitely is looking good. GBP New Zealand is looking like a sell, which is interesting. Let's see what Aud Jpy, how that's doing. So it's doing a retest, reacting to this wall here, which is normal. I just put the wick underneath here, right? Let me zoom in for y'all. So I just put the wick right here. And I put the line right on the wick. And we can see that when price hit that wall, it retraced back up. But now it's underneath this wall. So the next candlestick, I'm going to see it break through this wall right here. So that's what we're going to be looking at to see if it can do. Matter of fact, I'm going to leave this line here just going to change it to a different color so I don't think it's one of my zones. I'm just going to keep it here and watch how Aud Jpy reacts to it. While looking at these other pairs. But again, it's still early. We're just about an hour into London. Not tripping too much. Caught out plenty of trades. See some other potential opportunities, but in no rush to enter them. Could see a potential sell right here. Yeah, so all the JPY pairs are retracing. Well, a lot of pairs in general are retracing, I should say. Let's see here. Yep, CHF is retracing too. See how US30 is looking. US30 is retracing too. So TPs did get hit. Caught a quick few hundred pips. See how gold's doing. Gold's retracing too. I want to see it drop down though. But just gonna be waiting. New candlestick's about to appear in 1 minute. I'm gonna see how that looks. But so far we're chilling. So far we're chilling. New candlestick just came up. And yeah, it looks like things are just dumping back down. Just no complaints there. New Zealand JPY is pushing back down. Aud Jpy is about to try to break this level of price again. Let's see what GJ is doing. GJ is about to attempt again, which is a good sign. What else are we in? What else did I call out? AUD New Zealand. Well, let's go back to GJ and see what's going on. Yeah, so it's struggling a little bit, but I'm still chilling though. We still have stayed underneath the zone right here. So we're not tripping too much about that. AUD New Zealand still struggling. I want to see some TPs get hit before that red folder comes out for AUD New Zealand. That's what I want to see happen. Let's see what else we in. EuroCAD. EuroCAD shooting up. Did it hit the TP? Let me see if it hit the TP on my broker. Nope. Just a few pips off. Just about 5 pips off. But it's still trying, which is a good sign. Looks like it's retracing back up on us. Which I kind of saw coming a little bit because we had this imbalance here. So it could retrace up a little bit. As long as it doesn't hit stop loss, I'm not tripping. I want to see it fill up the rest of this though. Because again, still overall in a downtrend. It came up to here, hit the zone, shot back down. So right here really will be the determining point. This zone right here, the zone we're in, the zone we're trading on, is really going to be the determining point for gold if the trend is going to stay a downtrend or not. Because again, I have a video called How to Read Candlesticks and a video how to identify the trend. on my YouTube channel, I recommend watching that because it'll help make things a lot more clear to you and truly show you how to read the trend. But this zone is very important. Why I'm saying that is because we're in a downtrend as of now. But this week, because we haven't been this low in a while on multiple time frames, on multiple charts from US30, NAS, all that stuff. So this is a very crucial time. So depending on what this candlestick does, what today does, whether it goes from here, breaks back down, or if it respects this, shoots back up here, and depending on what it does here, if it shoots back down or if it comes back up and it breaks these highs here, the uptrend could very much start, because uptrend could have started here, or this could have just been a lower high right here. But depending on what today does, this candlestick, whether it breaks back under, continues down, or if it treats this level as a support level, shoots back up, then shoots back down, it'll still be possibly a downtrend. Or if it treats this as a support level, breaks here, treats this as a support level, and continues up. Obviously, this won't probably all happen today. It'll probably happen today and tomorrow into the next week. Next week will definitely let us know if we're still in a downtrend or not. And that's for US30 and everything as well. All right. But these zones right here are very important. These are going to determine whether or not we're going to be looking for sells or if we're going to be looking for buys. So just keep that in mind, which is also why before I call these trades out, I emphasize so much secure your profits, because again, it's still showing me sales, but for the past couple of days, especially yesterday, it's been pushing back up, showing potentially a trend reversal is upon us. So keep those things in mind, which is also why I kind of want to leave SPX alone. But that's another thing. That's because we're in the middle of the zone. So I'm just following those rules there. But again, keep all that stuff in mind. Today and tomorrow is very important to determine the type of setups we're going to be looking for next week and if the trend is going to change on us. So that being said, let's look at the other pairs that we're in and see if we can see some other setups as well. So let's see here. What trades did I call out? So AUD New Zealand. So let's check out what that's doing right now. Let's see here. And so still just playing around at price at the zone, just like it's doing here, but it's on top of this level of price, which is a good sign. So when volume picks up, I would like to see it shoot back up and break this wall right here that is struggling to break right here. And then we'll be in a good shape. But that's what we're waiting on right now. It's usually the waiting game. Either TPs will get hit or some TPs will get hit, like we saw on AJ, and then it'll retrace back down, or it'll just play around London session and then pick back up in New York or start to pump in New York. So we missed TP1 by about a few pips, but it's stacking on top of this level of price, which is good. So what I want to see is stack on this price, then continue to shoot up nice and smooth, nice and easy. I want to see it do a nice little, like what Euro New Zealand did earlier this week. I want to see it do that. That's what it looks like it's going to try to do. I want to see it do a nice little staircase up. But again, it's still early into London session. We're just an hour in. So just really just a waiting game, just holding. Again, always hold to SL or TP gets hit. You're in the trade now. No point in trying to pull out early. That's why it's important to not over leverage and risk the same amount every trade, and you will be fine. But for the most part, just going to be chilling, seeing what happens. GJ still trying. Let's see here. Let's see what Aud Jpy is doing. Yeah, so doing the same thing GJ is doing. So this is the wall for AJ basically, and this is the wall for GJ. If it can break these levels of price, very much likely see more TPs getting hit. We already hit some TPs for AJ, so that's a good thing. Still in profit on AJ. Also another good thing, GJ is close to entry, still trying. Let's look at gold. And see how gold's looking. Okay, so gold's still showing some bearish momentum for the time being. It's still trying to push back down. So depending on when volume picks up, what it does can be very important. Because again, it broke these levels of traffic before, but it shot back up. So again, this is these zones right here today and tomorrow will determine if the trend is staying a downtrend or if we are in a trend reversal and we're going to be in the uptrend. So that's what we're going to be looking at right now. Let's just go back to US30 and see what's going on. Yeah, US30 went back to the top of the zone. Not a surprise though, because NAS just hit a wall right here. Like I said before, GBPJPY hit the bottom of the zone there. And all these pairs move together for the most part. And you can see same candlestick structure as GBPJPY, but it has this wall right here that it would have to break, and these levels of traffic it would have to break to continue the uptrend. So again, if y'all didn't get worked out in profit, if you're still holding, hold to SL or TP gets hit. But that's also why I put out this disclaimer every day, because again, I get it. I have multiple TPs. Some days all TPs get hit. Sometimes we'll retrace and shoot back down. But if you're not entirely confident and understand what's going on the candlesticks and the charts, do not take that risk. Secure your profits. You don't have to hold every trade. All right. So just want to stress that, because there's been plenty of times personally. Yeah, gold did do a pullback. What time did you put that? Oh, you just said that. So let me see. Yeah, gold did a little pullback. It has this right here. But again, I'm still holding, because like always, I'm holding to SL or TP gets hit. So I'm not tripping too much about these trades so far, because again, it's still early. And yeah, we're just really waiting for volume for most of these trades anyways. Besides gold and US30, we know what's going on there. It's in a tight spot. Just trying to figure out what's going on there, because again, we haven't been this low for US30, NAS, and all those things for about 2 years. So that's a huge thing to keep in mind. But let's see here. And GN was showing me sales also, which is interesting. GN is still dropping, which is very interesting. But again, these are different pairs, so they are going to do their own things at different times. But again, it's a ranging market, and for the day, it's just been doing what it's been doing here, just ranging. So it could drop down, like I was saying before, and it's showing us doing that right here. So depending on what the next candlesticks look like, may or may not look for a short opportunity. Just a quick one though, nothing too crazy. Because even right here, this will be a good 1 to 2, almost 1 to 3 risk to reward. So still good risk to reward. So we're going to see what it does from there. But again, I'm probably not. There's probably a few other trades that are really close to determining whether I want to enter or not. But for everything else, I'm just going to be waiting until probably 6 o'clock or New York session to enter, GA shot back up. Well, it didn't shoot back up. Well, it kind of did shoot back up, and that's on top of this level of price. So, like I was saying before, going to see if it's going to respect it and go back up, or if it's going to drop back down and potentially look for sales opportunities. But as we see from yesterday, very flip-floppy, rangy, filled this up and dropped back down, then came back up, and now we're right here. The day, even today, same thing. It's like a mini version of yesterday's daily candlestick. So a lot of these pairs are in weird spots, and we have to wait to see what it's trying to do. There's other pairs that are in good, interesting positions. But yeah, we're just going to be waiting from there. But 1 minute to the next 15-minute candlestick pops up, and that candlestick is going to be important for the gold trade as well as all the other trades we're in. Because AJ is retracing, he's about to retest this level here. We can stay underneath this level of price right here. Very much see it continuing downwards. But for the most part, just gonna be holding these trades, watching them, seeing how they do. Let's see. Your GBP is looking good. So I'm gonna keep an eye on Euro GBP as well. New candlestick just appeared. So let's hop on gold and see what it decides to do. It's attempting to drop back down, but it's on top. It's above the zone now, so it's gonna have to break the zone and then continue to go back down. So that's the only thing. But yeah, it's trying to go back down, so that's always a good sign. Let's see what US30 is doing. US30 is doing the same thing, so just keeping that in mind. But yeah, so I'm just gonna be really paying attention to the pairs we're in. Only a couple other pairs I'm looking at, which is Euro GBP and Euro AUD, and then that's really it. But other than that, I'm just holding the pairs we're in. Might scan the charts again around 6, 7 o'clock to see any other potential trade opportunities. But for the most part, just gonna be holding these trades that we're in right here. And seeing what they do. Because the main thing with trading is just waiting for a volume. And as you can see, there's some pumps, and some pairs will move and start to move before London or in London. But for the most part, the London session is going to show you signs of the move that's going to come in New York. It's going to hit a few TPs, might hit them all. Then it's always going to retrace back. Price always retraces back. That's one thing that's just factual. Price always retraces back. So that's all I'm always saying, secure your profits, because before New York starts around 6 o'clock, or we'll do it at 8 o'clock, but usually 6 o'clock, 6:30, 8 o'clock, 8:30, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock-ish, retracements or pushes will happen. So, and also the script can get flipped on us when the new session starts. So that's why it's always important to secure your profits, because when New York session comes around, it'll either push volume in and enforce the direction of price going the way it's going currently, or it will completely change direction price is going. Also, news and stuff comes into play, mainly red folder news. But these are all things you have to understand and keep into consideration. But gold's trying to come down, but again, it has to break this level again, then break this level here. And if it can do that, then it can potentially continue downwards. But for the time being, we're just going to be watching these charts, the trades we're in, and just holding these because I already caught a decent amount out as of now. Euro AUD. Yeah, so it's showing is struggling to break this. So it might drop again like yesterday. New 4-hour candlestick appeared at 5 o'clock though. Has all this range. It stays above here. It can very much so break up, especially when volume comes into the markets New York session. But looking at the daily time frame, we see these huge levels of traffic that it's dealing with right now. So it could very much retrace back down or create another version of yesterday with these wicks. But like always, just have to wait for multiple candlesticks to confirm whether or not it's going to do that. And as you can see here, it did a retest and it's dropping down as we speak. We can see on the 5-minute, I did a retest and a drop. So if it breaks this level of price, it will most likely, but it has this wall right here. So yeah, I'm just going to be watching this one for sure. Not going to jump to conclusions too soon because again, still early. No point. Well, let me not say no point. It's no rush to any of these trades. And EuroCAD still struggling to break this level of price. But when we look to the left, we can see why. It's underneath this wall right here. So when volume comes into play, it can break this, but it is very much so struggling to break this. Just like the earlier, it basically did a mirror image right here of this right here or this right here. But that's what's going on there. It's struggling to break this wall right here and this traffic. But when volume comes into play, it could very much so do that. GJ going for around 1, 2, 3, like 4 or 5 to try to break that level. But that is a good sign still that it's still trying to break that level. So we have to keep that in mind. GA still can't break this wall, so could potentially look for a sell opportunity right here. Would like to go to here, but that'll be the first checkpoint. But could look for a potential sell opportunity. Be a good 1 to 2 risk to reward if it goes to here. Would like to see it come to here at least. If it continues to show me sells, that is. But still early. Not in a rush. These are just trade ideas on those charts at least. Let's see what gold's talking about. Yeah, so gold is right back on this zone. So depending on if it can break back down and definitely break through this orange line will determine what is going on there. But we see US30 struggling to come back down, but it did respect this wall here, like we can see from these 2 wicks. So that is a good sign. I would like to see it break through this wall or this level of traffic like it almost did before. But like I always mention, when a TP is hit, it will either reject or break through. And as we can see, when those TPs got hit, it rejected back up, which is why I was talking about make sure to secure your profits. But the members already know that, members in the live stream. And people that have been watching the live stream, you already understand how this works. But yeah, so right now it's just the waiting game. We're just chilling. Because again, with this strategy, we're trying to catch not every pip, but we're trying to determine the direction of price for the day. We're not just trying to catch a bounce or retracement. We're trying to catch the direction of price for the day. Euro JPY did a nice retest, and now it's dropping back down. So let's see what GJ is doing. See if GJ is doing the same thing. GJ is still struggling to break this traffic, but the fact that it's still trying to go down is a good sign. You have to understand what's going on. AJ is going down. It's going to try to go down again. Let's see what NJ is doing. JPY. Yeah, it's right back at where we would have originally entered at. That thing is tempting me. Thing is very much so tempting me for entry. But these are the trades we're in. These are the trades we're holding. Those watching the live stream, make sure to hit that like button. Again, make sure to watch my video on YouTube, how to read candlesticks and how to identify the trend, because this is going to come very much so in handy. Actually, that video was a gold video. Now that I think about it, that video was I think it was either from one of the member Zoom calls or the one-on-one session. I don't remember, but that Zoom call, the Zoom call now YouTube video, I was doing the explanation of the trend reversal on gold, and I think it was I don't remember when it was, but it was a downtrend, the uptrend was beginning, or something like that. I don't remember. I do remember it was gold. Well, I'm on silver, so let me get off of that. That's probably why I didn't see what I wanted to see. Let me see if I can remember where that. It might have been this right here. I don't know, but I do remember it was gold. But point is, make sure to watch that video because it's going to help you out, and it's going to be very relevant for gold and the indices, especially next week. Because like I explained earlier, today and tomorrow is really going to determine if the downtrend is going to begin or if the uptrend is going to begin. And we're going to be looking for buys mainly instead of sells. So these next 2 days are going to be important. So make sure to check that out. Make sure to join the Telegram so you're notified when signals get hit. And if you want to contact me directly, you can contact me on Instagram, playmaker_way, or when you're in the Telegram, you can contact me Way Not Wayne. Just simply click the name and the title in the Telegram, and I'll have all this information right here. But I'm gonna see y'all in tomorrow's live stream, and I'm gonna see y'all members in the Zoom call tonight, and also be on the lookout for some chart analysis and updates in a couple hours, probably around 6 o'clock, explaining what's going on with the trades we're in, as well as potential trade setups. But we see gold as of now in US30 attempting to push back down. Let's see what EuroCAD is doing. Yeah, EuroCAD is struggling to break that wall. GJ is trying again. Yeah, very, very interesting. Very interesting. Yeah, GN is looking like a sell. Not going to lie. So don't be surprised if we see a GN sell signal in the near future. I'm definitely going to be paying attention to that pair. Even GBPJPY retraced a little bit, but it's trying to come back up. Let's see. 80 CAD. Ranging still. Zealand CAD trying to push up again. All right. Yeah, so like I said, I'm just going to keep an eye on the charts we're in. Going to keep an eye on your GP, GA to see if I want to enter those or not. Was it GA? Yeah, it was GA, GN, and then Euro AUD. I'm gonna keep an eye on these pairs, but I'm gonna see y'all in tomorrow's live stream.